All right, we know the U.S. Department of Education released this return to school roadmap, right? And they say it's going to help get those kids back into the classroom safely. And it has a few goals, three of them: accelerate academic achievement, support students' social, emotional, and mental health, which obviously, has really come to light over this pandemic time, and prioritize the health and safety of the entire school community with a big vaccination push for staff and qualified students. And one of the things I noted when you read through this is the education commissioner wants schools to hire additional school personnel, nurses, custodial staff to try to, have that health and safety component there. So, Rob, do you think that this was helpful?
It's the timeline on this is so tight. So number one, the availability of these federal funds are not all available to us yet, right? So, their headlines, I see my colleague here, Dr. Ricka, nodding. Some of the stuff is not going to be available to November. And then you have to go through various approval processes. The other thing is, hiring right now is really hard. There is a shortage of substitutes. We had a shortage of school nurses before the pandemic. You cannot find any. Bus drivers. We're at about 20% less bus drivers than we had last year, and there was a crisis before the pandemic. So I think that's great from the ivory tower, if you will. But boots on the ground here, there's just not enough staff to do that, and the money is not readily available now.
Is that what you're saying as well, Joe?
Yeah, I think Rob's right. The other thing too is anytime you invest in workforce with one-time only funds, you really run a risk of creating a situation where it's a short-lived opportunity. So we did increase the number of helping professionals in our school district. We did that last year. We are utilizing those resources from the federal government to optimize our HVAC throughout the district, which I think is extraordinarily important, and certainly taxpayer will get a lot more for their
Sure.
investment over the long run. So I agree with Rob. The monies aren't there necessarily immediately, and certainly the workforce is stretched thin.